Yehoshua or Joshua 16 through 18. And the lot for the children of Joseph went out from the Jordan by Jericho to the waters of Jericho on the east, to the wilderness going up from Jericho through the mountains to Bethel, and went out from Bethel to Luz, and passed over to the border of the Archites at Ataroth, and went down westward to the boundary of the Japhalites, as far as the boundary of lower Beth Horon to Gezer, and it ended at the sea. Thus the children of Joseph, Manasseh, and Ephraim inherited. And the border of the children of Ephraim, according to their clans, was the border of their inheritance on the east side was Ataroth Adar, as far as upper Beth Horon. And the border went out toward the sea to Mikmethoth on the north. Then the border went around eastward to Ta-anath Shiloh, and passed over it on the east of Yanohah, and went down from Yanohah to Ataroth and Na'arah, reached to Jericho, and came out at the Jordan. From Tupawah the border went westward to the Wadi Kanah, and it ended at the sea. This was the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Ephraim for their clans. And the separate cities for the children of Ephraim were in the midst of the inheritance of the children of Manasseh, all the cities with their villages. And they did not drive out the Canaanites who dwelt in Gezer, so the Canaanites dwell among the Ephraimites to this day and have become compulsory labor. Chapter 17. And the lot for the tribe of Manasseh, for he was the firstborn of Joseph, was for Machir, the firstborn of Manasseh, father of Gilad, because he was a man of battle, therefore he had Gilad and Bashan. And for the rest of the children of Manasseh, for their clans, there was for the children of Abiezer, and for the children of Helek, and for the children of Azriel, and for the children of Shechem, and for the children of Hepher, and for the children of Shemida. These were the male children of Manasseh, son of Joseph, according to their clans. But Zelophehad, son of Hepher, son of Gilad, son of Machir, son of Manasseh, had no sons, but only daughters. And these were the names of his daughters, Mahlah, and Noah, Haglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. And they came near before Eleazar the priest, before Yehoshua son of Nun, and before the rulers, saying, Yehovah commanded Moshe to give us an inheritance among our brothers. So he gave them an inheritance among their father's brothers, according to the mouth of Yehovah. And 10 portions fell to Manasseh, besides the land of Gilad and Bashan, which were beyond the Jordan, because the daughters of Manasseh received an inheritance among his sons. And the rest of Manasseh's sons had the land of Gilad. And the border of Manasseh was from Asher to Mikmethath, which faces Shechem. And the border went up to the right to the inhabitants of En-Tappuah. The land of Tappuah belonged to Manasseh, but Tappuah on the border of Manasseh belonged to the children of Ephraim. And the border went down to the Wadi of Kanah, southward to the Wadi. These cities of Ephraim were in the midst of the cities of Manasseh, but the border of Manasseh was north of the Wadi, and it ended at the sea. Southward it was Ephraim's, and northward it was Manasseh's, and the sea was its border. And they reached to Asher on the north and to Issachar on the east. And in Issachar and in Asher, Manasseh had Beth Shean and its towns, and Yibbalam and its towns, and the inhabitants of Dor and its towns, and the inhabitants of Endor and its towns, and the inhabitants of Taanach and its towns, and the inhabitants of Megiddo and its towns, 3 of the heights. But the children of Manasseh were unable to drive out the inhabitants of those cities, for the Canaanites desired to dwell in that land. And it came to be, when the children of Israel grew strong, that they put the Canaanites to compulsory labor, but did not utterly drive them out. And the children of Joseph spoke to Yehoshua, saying, Why have you given us but 1 lot and 1 portion to inherit, seeing we are a great people whom Yehovah has blessed until now? And Yehoshua said to them, If you're a great people, go up to the forest and clear a place for yourself there in the land of the Perizzites and the Rephaites, since the hill country of Ephraim is too narrow for you. Then the children of Joseph said, The hill country is not enough for us, and all the Canaanites who dwell in the land of the valley have chariots of iron, both those who are of Beth Shean and its towns, and those who are of the valley of Yisrael. And Yehoshua spoke to the house of Joseph, to Ephraim, and to Manasseh, saying, You are a great people, and have great power. You are not to have 1 lot, for the hill country shall be yours. For though it is a forest, you shall cut it down, and its farther limits shall be yours. For you are to drive out the Canaanites, though they have iron chariots and are strong. Chapter 18. And all the congregation of the children of Israel assembled at Shiloh, and they let the tent of appointment dwell there, and the land was subdued before them. And 7 tribes were left among the children of Israel who had not yet shared their inheritance. So Yehoshua said to the children of Israel, Till when are you going to fail to go in and possess the land which Jehovah Elohim of your fathers has given you? Appoint 3 men from each tribe, and let me send them out to go through the land and describe it according to their inheritance, and come back to me. And they shall divide it into 7 portions. Yehudah stays within their border on the south, and the house of Joseph stays within their border on the north. And you shall describe the land in 7 portions, and shall bring it to me. Then I shall cast lots for you here before Yehovah our Elohim. But the Levites have no portion among you, for the priesthood of Yehovah is their inheritance. And Gad, Reuben, and half the tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance beyond the Jordan on the east, which Moshe the servant of Yehovah gave them. So the men rose up and went, and Yehoshua commanded those who went to describe the land, saying, Go, walk through the land, and describe it, and come back to me, and let me cast lots for you here before Yehovah in Shiloh. So the men went and passed through the land and described it in a book in 7 portions by cities. And they came to Yehoshua at the camp in Shiloh. And Yehoshua cast lots for them in Shiloh before Yehovah. And there Yehoshua divided the land to the children of Israel according to their portions. And the lot of the tribe of the children of Benjamin came up for their clans, and the border of their lot came out between the children of Yehudah and the children of Joseph. And their border was on the north side from the Jordan, and the border went up to the side of Jericho on the north, and up through the mountains westward, and ended at the wilderness of Beth-awen. And the border went over from there toward Luz, to the side of Luz, that is Bethel southward, And the border went down to Ataroth Adar, by the hill that lies on the south side of Lower Beth Horon. And the border was drawn and went around the west side to the south, from the hill that faces Beth Horon southward, and it ended at Kiriath Baal, that is Kiriath Yearim, a city of the children of Yehudah. This was the west side. And the south side was from the end of Kiriath Yearim, and the border went around westward and went out to the fountain of the waters of Nephtoah. And the border came down to the end of the mountain that faces the valley of Son of Hinnom, which is in the valley of the Rephaim on the north, and went down to the valley of Hinnom to the side of the Jebusite city on the south, and went down to En Rogel. And it was drawn from the north, went out to En-Shemesh, and went out towards Geliloth, which is opposite the ascent of Adumim, and went down to the stone of Bohan, son of Reuben, and passed over the side opposite Arabah northward, and went down to Arabah. And the border passed over to the side of Beth Haglah northward, and the border ended at the North Bay, at the Salt Sea, at the south end of the Yarden. This was the southern boundary. And the Yarden borders it on the east side. This was the inheritance of the children of Benjamin according to its boundaries all around for their clans. And the cities for the tribe of the children of Benjamin, for their clans were Jericho and Beth Haglah and Amek Ketzitz, and Beth Arabah and Samarim and Bethel and Awim and Parah and Ophrah and Kephar ha-Ammoni and Ophni and Gaba, 12 cities with their villages, Gibbon and Ramah and Be'eroth and Mitzpah and Kephirah and Motzah and Rechem and Yerpael and Taralah and Selah, Eleph, and the Jebusite, that is Yerushalayim, Gabath, and Kiriath. 14 cities with their villages. This was the inheritance of the children of Benjamin for